Good evening and welcome. Tonight we will be going over the history and geography of Burdur in Turkey. You can see part of the name up there, Turkey. Burdur province, as you can see here, it's inland. It's a bit mountainy, rocky, but not nearly as much as other parts of Turkey, especially to the east over there. But it does have its rocky areas. It's mostly known for the lakes. You can see Lake Burdur right here. Also over here is Salda Lake. It's mostly known for that, and also for its various archaeological sites, which sadly aren't UNESCO sites. They're up for nomination, so maybe someday they will be, but not now. So we'll talk about them at the end of the video. And during the history, why don't we just get into it? There's not much else to say. It's not a very big province. Turkey's provinces aren't terribly big, so there's not a lot of geography to cover here, other than there are mountains. You can see the Dağı there. That means mountain. I know some Turkish, for just geographic Turkish terms. And the lake areas here. It's best known for the lakes. So the first settlements that occurred in Burdur province are actually extremely ancient. There is some evidence near the town of about like here or so, where there is signs that people lived there in about 8,000 BCE. There's many interesting archaeological sites in Turkey of some of the very first permanent settlements, the very first places of worship in human history. And it could very well be that this might be one of the oldest settled places in the world, but we don't know yet. There's still a lot more that needs to be uncovered there, but people have been living here for an extremely, extremely long time. But it wasn't really known to be much until like the pre-Roman era, right? This area was known as Pisidia. And the main place to live, I don't want to say town, it wasn't quite a city, residence, settlement, was known as Sagalassos, which was about here-ish. We'll see it on Google Earth. Sagalassos was actually conquered by Alexander the Great in 333 BCE, made it part of his empire. So then it passed on to his generals, which would eventually wind up becoming part of the Roman Empire. And Pisidia was eventually part of Rome. So we have Sagalassos. Over here, there was a town called Kibyra. Both were Roman towns at this point, right? Kibyra was actually destroyed by an earthquake in the year 417. It was beyond repair, and people abandoned it. And we'll look at those ruins on Google Earth. They're quite interesting. Sagalassos struggled to hold on after a series of terrible events throughout the 500s and 600s CE, of course. There was first a massive earthquake in the 500s. As the city was repairing itself, it was hit with plague that wiped out a lot of the population. Eventually, in the 600s, there is evidently threat of an Arab invasion, which made people nervous. But it was hit by another earthquake that devastated the city even more. So at that point, it was abandoned. So this place, while it was very impressive and beautiful, wasn't really much after that. The area was conquered by quite a few powers. We're just going to run through them In 1071, the area was conquered by the Seljuk Turks. In 1211, it would be the Oghuz Turks. In 1177, it was controlled by the Sultanate of Rum. In 1260, the Mongols came through, doing what the Mongols did best, conquering and pillaging and destroying as they went. In the year 1300, the Hammadids would take over this area from the Mongols. And in 1391, it would be the Ottomans that would basically absorb the Hammadid territories and make it part of their empire. And then very famously, Turkey was part of the Ottoman Empire till the end of World War I, in which Turkey would gain its independence. I didn't really find much about anything more modern. The one thing that I did, I'll show you on Google Earth, but that's pretty much the history of this area here. It's one of those places in the world where I found a lot about the ancient history, not so much about the modern history, and that's totally fine. It's almost a good thing if you haven't made the news in any recent times, because that means it's just a very peaceful and calm and quiet place. There's lots of farmland here. We'll look at some of the beautiful lavender farms around here. And, I think we should just hop over to the tablet and check out this beautiful province on Google Earth. Let's head over there. Here we are in Burdur. I was trying to make it pop up for the whole province. Google Earth doesn't feel like doing that right now. So I just got you the town there. But let's zoom out so you can see exactly where we are in the world. You can just see how rocky mountainous this area is. You can see the big beautiful lakes here and around the province. And here is beautiful Turkey. It's within Anatolia, the Asian part of Turkey, which has some really beautiful geography. There's the Mediterranean and the Black Sea, which we're going to talk about a lot more in tomorrow's video. We're going to see a lot of the Black Sea tomorrow. Be sure to subscribe so you won't miss out. But yeah, it's far more mountainous the more east you go in Turkey. But still quite a bit of peaks and valleys here as well. But let's start off in the town. Here is Burdur. I have some sights to show you. I guess we'll start up here at the Archaeological Museum and see some really neat ancient Hellenistic and ancient Roman artifacts from times long ago, probably things recovered from those ancient towns, right? We'll take a look at in a minute. Lots of cool statues, whatever that is. I'm not sure. Whatever this is. Cool column thing. Yeah, lots and lots and lots of statues here. And there's this lake. Just the lake. Here is the building. It's just the Natural History Museum, which I usually don't show you unless I don't have a lot of things to show you, because it's mostly just cool dinosaur bones and things. But this was a Greek church back before independence. Now it's History Museum, so you can see the cross there. It was a Greek church before the war between Greece and Turkey in the 1920s. Afterwards, many Greeks were thrown out of Turkey, many Turks were thrown out of Greece, so the Greek population pretty much moved out of the town at that time. The church was left empty. It's now an archaeological museum, or a natural history museum. I do want to give a shout out real quick. I just remembered. I'll throw it on the screen here, but I believe it's pronounced like Yagsogi or something. But I want to thank that person who left me a comment ages ago with facts about this town, knowing that it was coming up eventually, and gave me lots of interesting sights to see. Thank you so much for that. It was so helpful. I think this is one of them right here. I believe so. Or maybe not. But still pretty cool. They pointed out some places with neat Ottoman architecture. I don't think this was it, but isn't that beautiful? I don't know enough Turkish to know exactly what kinds you could see. It's a culture museum. Definitely telling some stories. Let me see. They're somewhere around here, but I have them saved in my recent searches. You can also see probably some spoilers in here too. Let's see if I can remember. One second. Sagalassos, Kibyra. I think this one. Yes. Oh, see, it was right next door. Man, look how close I was. They pointed out this building as a great example of Ottoman architecture. And it is gorgeous, isn't it? This like pop out here is very characteristic of Ottoman architecture here in southern Turkey. See the pop out? Little kind of balcony area or bay window. I'm not sure. Oh, crap. But yeah. There's another historic house over here that they mentioned there, the House of the Egyptians. I guess we can take a look at that too. I have it tagged. We may as well. How these children were kidnapped by the soldiers and sent to live in Egypt and became like these, or he became like this very famous soldier for the Ottoman Empire in Egypt, and he had this house built so that he could come home every once in a while. Another really beautiful, interesting, historic building. I did a terrible job telling that story. But yeah, it's pretty long and complicated, so we won't get into that. Nearby we have beautiful Burdur Lake. And I think we can look at this slideshow to see this gorgeous lake. Of course, there's lots of camping and hiking around it. Stuff that you do at lakes, you know. Parasailing. Couldn't be me. Going out on boats, having some nice tea. Family picnic by the lake, seeing this cool art there. Little shops. Enjoying the beautiful weather, right? It's so nice. Head over to Lake Salda. As you can see, it is very salty around there. Let's take a look. Sorry if you can hear the crickets outside, or you're welcome if you can hear the crickets outside. It's a beautiful summer evening where I am, so there's lovely crickets splashing around. Good lake times. Having some delicious tea there. Enjoying Lake Salda, all the saltiness around it. Look at all that. Pretty great. While we're over here, let's check out the Lavender farms. Which I guess I figured that the word lavanta is Turkish for lavender. At least I assume so based on my searches around here. The Purple Village. Lavender farms are really pretty. Let me get some lavender spray. I love the smell of lavender. I know some people don't really like it, but I think it's great. It's also very tasty. I had some lavender ice cream the other day. It was like 2 months ago. My brother-in-law hated it. He says, like, I'm never eating flowers again. But I thought it was pretty good. I thought it tasted very nice and pleasant. It was springtime then, so it was a nice little springtime treat. Look how pretty. Reminds me of, all the farms in France, They're so picturesque. See, take some pretty photos there. Or some action shots. Or some artsy shots, right? Or some romantic shots there in the lavender. Gathering some flowers there. Looking very excited. Very introspective and very beautiful. Lavender farms are special, aren't they? Nothing quite like it. And you can see that there is lots of farmland around. You can see all the little patches here. Very agricultural area. Let's go find some ancient sites. Now they have been quite elusive on Google Earth. They've been not popping up for me when I've been rehearsing, which is very annoying. So I might just type it in. Actually, I think I will, because now I can't remember where it is over here. It's in my recent searches anyway. Let's see. We have Kibyra. Let's see. That would have taken me a minute. Kibyra Ancient City. There you can see kind of what's left of it. Oh, very pixelated there. Let's take a look at the slideshow. You can see this beautiful theater, the beautiful mosaic there. And it's really beautifully preserved, actually. Look at that gorgeous floor. This and Sagalassos that we'll look at later were pretty much like all covered up and had to be dug out by archaeologists. So lots of areas are very well preserved because of that. But if you think this is good, just wait. We'll go look at Sagalassos next. Because, yeah, that's pretty great, isn't it? Ancient city. Let's see if I can find the other one. Let's head out. You can always orient yourself with the lake. There's Sparta. I know if I get to Sparta, I've gone too far. And it is nearby. Goodness, I'm always either like I've tried to rehearse finding it. Ooh, look at that big peak right there. Whoa, let's look at it in 3D. Yeah, I'm just gonna type it in. I know I'm near, but let's just type it in. Where are you? Sagalassos. See, I knew I was nearby. Let's see. There's a lot of things to see here. But I guess we'll start up here. Nothing else is being tagged. Fountain House and Neon Library, which I'm not sure what that means. Look at that gorgeous mosaic. Look at this. Incredible. The city is extremely well preserved. Sagalassos. All the beautiful arches. We had a big slideshow, maybe. Okay, close enough. Look how pretty. This is what you saw in the opening shot, the video. Look at that. So well preserved. Some cool little cave dwellings there. Let's see. Yeah, hopefully someday this will be a UNESCO site, so it'll be preserved forever, because it's in remarkable condition, considering, Like, there's so much that's still around. Down here would be the Temple of Apollo. What's that? Oops. Yeah, that's it. Some really beautiful views. Looks like they've replaced some statues there. I love the little caves. And then, of course, like the view from here is stunning, isn't it? And Turkey is so beautiful. It's very, like, beautiful, rugged countryside. We even got the fountain going. Pretty neat. Alright. Let me see if there's anything else I wanted to show you in this province. Wish it would let me highlight it so I can throw the borders up. I guess we can just find a random town. What do you think? Look at this one. Make sure that we're still. Yep. Alright. This is gorgeous. Holy moly. I just picked this random. Look how stunning. But let's end the video here. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this style of content, please consider subscribing. This is so pretty with the mosque in the background. Next, actually, I'll show you where we're going next after we look at this. So, I will say to please make sure to give this video a thumbs up and let me know all your thoughts down below in the comments. I always love to read your comments. I told you we're going to the Black Sea. We're actually going to the westernmost point of the Black Sea. We're going up here to Bulgaria. And we're actually going to see a real UNESCO site. And it's gorgeous. Be sure to subscribe so you won't miss out. I hope that you found this video to be relaxing and educational. And I hope that you have a good